A violent match returns to WWE for the first time since 2019 for Cody and Drew McIntyre. We have a new champion crowned on SmackDown. Plus, Alberto Del Rio, are we going to see him back in the greater WWE picture? Plus, changes to Raw and SmackDown that you will hear on television. It's the Sportskeeda Wrestling News. Let's jump right into it. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe, let go. Yeah, 3 Stages of Hell returns to WWE. Yes, for the first time since 2019, let's dig into this story. Cody and Drew. Cody Rhodes, the WWE Champion, and his bitter rival, the man he attacked at his own home, Drew McIntyre. Yes, they've been at each other for months now, and it comes down to a big, violent showdown. 3 Stages of Hell, 3 different matches. Kind of like a best out of 3 falls, but with a cage match or a submission match or an Inferno match. I don't know what they want to do, but we'll find out. The match will go down in Berlin, Germany, part of WWE's pre-Royal Rumble tour on January 9th, as SmackDown moves to 3 hours, doing big matches that kind of feel like a premium live event. Do this more often. With the amount of premium live events, WWE doing these on TV makes more sense. They did that big tag team TLC match back in the spring. I felt that made sense. They've done some of these kind of quarterly here and there, but if you're going to go back to 3 hours on SmackDown, which I know some fans have issues with, this makes sense. Also on SmackDown, we have a new champion. Let's talk about it. Carmelo Hayes doesn't miss. Melo doesn't miss. He takes out Ilya Dragunov, becomes the new WWE United States Champion. We've known this one for a while, since the December 26th episode of SmackDown was pre-taped. Good on WWE for doing that with the holiday and everything like that. Now, I know this means that the title change result gets out early, but it doesn't mean it's less meaningful for Carmelo Hayes. He deserves this. He's worked hard. He was a big star in NXT. I'm not saying he was in a holding pattern. He did a tag team. He had some big matches here and there. I know he did some significant stuff with The Miz and Mysterio, but him taking out Dragunov, becoming the next working champion in WWE, because it is the most fighting championship in WWE, it makes the most sense. What's your favorite championship right now in WWE? I would love to hear that comment from you. Get down in the comments and let me know. Alberto Del Rio. Let's talk about it. Yes. Del Rio recently going on the record about whether or not you're going to see him in WWE's AAA. That's where he was most prominently recently wrestling. Of course, he had runs in WWE. He's a former WWE champion, leaves WWE on some nasty circumstances, some awful things in his personal life that hopefully he's gotten past since then, have gone down. But we haven't seen him in AAA since the summer, and he has been out of the picture, especially as WWE's AAA has kind of come into their own form and they're producing it and running it. But he went on the record, though, speaking to La Tiria, Lucha Libre. Yell at me if I pronounce that wrong. I'm sorry. He says, "Do I want it? Of course I do. There are things that, as I've said, aren't talked about out of respect for business agreements, both in wrestling and other industries, but we've always been in contact." So leaving it up in the air, and it feels like it's just a matter of, can we get the deal done? Let's do it. I don't think this is more like, yeah, I want it, obviously, but if we can figure out a deal, it'll happen. But until then, so it's almost a when, not if it could. So seems more likely than ever that we can see Del Rio back in WWE, but not a confirmation. AEW Worlds End is going down in suburban Chicago, just about an hour and a half away from where I am here. Are you excited for the show? Let me know how you feel about it. Let's run down the big matches on the show. AEW World Championship, it'll be Samoa Joe in a fatal 4-way against MJF, Adam Page, and Swerve Strickland. I do not see Samoa Joe leaving this show as the champion. He is a guy, he's vetted. I feel he has had a Hall of Fame career. One of the best brutalizing, rough wrestlers I've ever seen. But I don't think he needs to have the title more. It needs to be on a younger name who can move the needle for AEW with the kind of hotbed of their audience. Maybe that's MJF. I kind of don't feel like it's Adam Page. It could be Swerve Strickland, but maybe MJF leaves with the title and he does some shenanigans. AEW Women's World Championship, Chris Statler versus Jamie Hayter. Don't see this belt getting off of Statlander right now. The newly created Women's World Tag Team titles, the Babes of Wrath, Cameron and Willow Nightingale, take on Mercedes Moné and Athena. brand new titles. Just made them. Don't see a title change happening. Now, here's the Continental Classic. I'll break this one down. They're going to do the semifinals, Moxley versus Fletcher. I see a shocking upset there. Fletcher beats Moxley. It lays into Moxley's entire, I used to be a badass, but now I don't know how to, finish the big one, even though he's gotten through the tournament this far. Kazuchika Okada has won a ton of tournaments. AEW loves putting stats on someone, and him winning the most tournaments would make the most sense. He will get through Takeshita in the semis. He will get through Fletcher. He will win this. That will set him up maybe for a big world title program in the future, possibly. Other big matches on the show, FTR versus Bang Bang Gang. The Death Riders in action in a mixed tag team match against a conglomeration of Tony Storm, Darby Allin versus Gabe Kidd. Another shuffle for WWE on Raw and SmackDown. Let's talk about that. Yeah, what are the changes to Raw and SmackDown on commentary? So Joe Tessitore has his commitments with college football. So you're going to have some shuffling. They did this with Pat McAfee. I think making changes to Raw and SmackDown more often on commentary isn't a big deal. I see some fans get really mad about this, but I don't mind it nearly as much. PWI Insider reporting that Michael Cole and Corey Graves will return to Monday Night Raw as a pairing starting January 5th. And then on January 2nd, you'll see Joe Tessitore, since he has the college football commitments. He's free on Fridays. He's going to jump over to SmackDown with Wade Barrett. I like this. I don't mind this at all. It makes sense. They're very competent broadcasters. I want to know, who's your favorite commentary host right now in pro wrestling? I got to give it up to Joe Tessitore. I think he's been fantastic as a guy who was working in sports broadcasting but took on WWE full on. Michael Cole, I think, has been the best he's ever been on commentary since the WWE TKO shakeup. He had some lines in John Cena's match that I think really brought in that moment that I really love. An unfortunate update, depending on who you talk to, about Jerry the King Lawler. Yes, let's talk about the King. The King going on the record after some serious health issues for him. He was kind of talking about this, and in this quote in an interview that got a lot of people talking, that he says he wants to wrestle one more match. Now, I doubt WWE would let someone who's just been over a stroke get in the ring and have one more match. I wouldn't mind seeing Lawler get in there and do one of those big pull-out punches. Maybe a big punch drop, maybe a pile driver on somebody, but a full-on match, just my take. WWE has set a major location for a major post-WrestleMania event in 2026. Let's go there. And by there, we mean Puerto Rico. Post Wrestling is reporting that Puerto Rico, the wrestling hot island that has been a huge part of wrestling's legacy and a big part of WWE, presenting a big, huge Backlash show back in 2023, headlined by Bad Bunny, that brought in millions of dollars. They will return there once again, just 3 weeks after WrestleMania in Vegas. It makes sense. Is Bad Bunny going to be a part of the show? I don't know. But when you have big name Latin American talent in WWE, I will see one of them featured prominently on that show in some way or another. Just my take. 3 stages of hell. What stipulations would you do for Cody versus Drew? Who's your favorite commentator right now in all of professional wrestling? I would love to know. Get in the comments below. And remember, when you're watching this channel, just hit that like button. All right? We're going to be